Hello and welcome from the office. It's Friday and No Plan B podcast is back. And this week's guest is Chris Frazier. If you are a follower of the No Plan B podcast for quite a while now, you might remember him back in those days when we were only on audio. This time when he is here for another talk with Joe and with me, you can get to not only hear him but actually see him as well. He is a Pro B veteran, sharpshooter, long distance, great player, great guy. Plays for Villingen Panthers this season. And when we talked last weekend, he is just within a winning streak, which disappointingly ended last Wednesday when they had to face a tough loss against Artland Dragons. But still, we spoke about the season. We spoke about how it is right now being back in an arena with fans, how that was for him during the pandemic to play basketball and how it is now. And also about a little bit of his take on the future, what he thinks about coaching, about what he does after his career. He shared a lot of insights. We had a great talk. And now let's get into this thing.
The way that we played basketball this year, the way that we trained was extremely intense.
I mean, it's a win-win. You're improving your performance by enhancing your recovery when using PSR, and you're adding extra years onto your career.
Welcome to the No Plan B podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, salute to my man Renee, H-Town in the building. Salute to big little bro, Chris Frazier, the guy that was born to shoot. This guy's a shooter, people. What's up, homie? How you doing this evening?
What's going on? What's going on? Thanks for having me again.
Oh, man, it's our pleasure, bro. It's really our pleasure, man. And so let's jump right into it, man. The last game. Saw you had a great game. You guys got the dub, and you dropped 23. So, I'm really happy to see, man, that you're back in your element. I've always said that, you're, not just because of the personal relationship we have, but, I've always loved your game. I've always, I've always said that you're a born shooter. You can't teach that. You know what I mean? Guys can get up millions of reps, but it's just something about guys like you and the Klay Thompsons and the Ray Allens and Steve Kerrs of the world. I really believe that those guys are gifted. But how you feeling, man? How's it feel to be able to get back in your zone and be a true leader on your team? How's that feel?
It feels good. I mean, I got a coach now that trusts me and lets me get the shots off that I need, that I can hit without having them a little chirp on the side the whole time. There's some coaches out there that don't want you to play your game and want you to fit in the system at all times. But I feel good. I mean, the last game was kind of close. Shouldn't have been as close as it was, but I had to show up one more time. I had to help my team, lead my team, and not alone, of course, but I had to knock down some big shots that game.
That's great, man. Congratulations. Yeah. And let's talk about that a bit because I always say, man, I mean, of course, back in the days when you played for me, you had the complete green light and it was just such a pleasure to sit back and watch you cook everybody and drop 50. I had to throw that in. But because I mean, in my playing, like that's how I coach now. That's my coaching style. I always say, hey, listen, this isn't an experiment. Whatever you do well, I'm going to give you the freedom to do what you do. And a lot of coaches, I don't know if it's their ego or, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm into X's and O's basketball. I understand that there has to be a system, but just from my coaching style, I've always had a lot more success when I let guys play freely, because I can remember in my playing days, there was times when, if I made I was thinking too much because you already have in the back of your head, okay, if I turn the ball over, or anything I do, the coach I'm going to hear that horn. The coach is going to snatch me. So now I'm thinking too much when I have to play. So, moving on, when you see yourself later on as a coach, do you feel like, is that the type of style you would like to coach where you say, okay, hey, listen, guys, I'm going to, we're going to have structure, but of course I'm going to give you the freedom to create your own shot and do your own thing?
Exactly. I mean, I feel like I would lean towards that as well because, you know, if you tell players that they can't do what they normally do or do their strengths the way they normally can do it, and you put them in a box, they tend to have a hard time of finding their own rhythm and finding the way they need to play without having to keep, you know, look over and see if the coach is happy with what you're doing the whole time. And I feel the same way. I feel, yeah, you should have structure, you should have your rules, you should have your plays, but at some point in the game, you need to have your players to have that individual skill and talent to go get a bucket and make a play, because X's and O's is not always going to work. Team scout at this level, they're going to break the play, and then you're going to have to figure it out on the fly what you're going to do next. And I feel like if a coach will let you live and let you do what you need to do within the limits, of course, not just go out there and just play, you know, hoop like you outside at the park.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's important. That builds a player's confidence. Doesn't tear them down when you keep telling them you don't want that shot. I don't want this. I don't want you to do that. It just kills people's confidence. But that's what happened to me about 2 years ago in Rostock. You know, I did everything I could do, and the coach wouldn't let me be me, and then it was miserable at the end. I mean, I love the guys that I was there with.
Yeah.
Great time, but basketball wise, it killed my confidence, and it really took me about a year and a half to get back to where I needed to be. So I feel like you should meet your players both ways. You know, the players should listen to the coaches, and then the coach, you should also meet your players halfway, as long as, you know, it's nothing crazy.
Exactly. And the bright side of the day is that you're going to go back to Rostock and you're going to scorch them again. They have to see you again. You can't just do that. They got to see you again, babe.
I needed that game winner too. I missed the game winner in the corner three. If I would have had that, I mean, I felt like I could have did the Dame Lillard like this and just walked off the court, and then just say, all right,
Exactly.
I got my win. Now I can cross that off.
Exactly. But you'll be back. Let's talk a little bit about the summer, because I tell all my young guys, man, I'm coaching the U18 team now, and they really piss me off, to keep it real, bro. Like, I can tell that in the summer that none of them worked on their game. I'm not hating on them, but, you know, you can see the difference of people who work on their game and who don't. And I know you on a personal level, like I said, and I know that the hard work and dedication and love that you have for basketball in this sport and all of the hard work. Let's talk about the work that you put in during the summer, because people think that, okay, they wake up one day and then they just, you know, I'm going to shoot like a Chris Frazier. And it doesn't happen. Like, there's a lot of work that's been put in. So, I mean, how many shots would you say you put up per day? I mean, during the summertime.
During the summer, in the span of probably 2.5 hours after lifting, I mean, per day, the minimum should be 1,000. Right. Over the years, like now, you know, it's muscle memory now, so I don't put up 1,000 like every summer. I mean, every day, like I should be supposed to, but it's muscle memory now. But it'll be close. Minimum should be 500 a day.
Nice.
Max is as much as, if you love to play, you can shoot all night if you want to. But to be at a realistic span, probably 500 a day, at least 500 a day. And but in summer times, it's not more of me working on my shot. In the summer, I try to work on things that I'm not good at. Like over the past 2 years, I've gotten to play a little bit of point guard now. And you've known me forever. Been playing at the two most of the time. So, like, right. I never really had that point guard skill. And I probably won't. It's too late. I probably won't perfect it and have the same vision as a point guard. But at least to have a little bit of the skills to be able to get the plays going, to be able to set up plays and set up players where they need to be without having to find a point guard all the time. So my advice to the kids, you know, in Germany, it's tough finding a gym. You already know how it is.
Yeah, for sure.
But there are outside courts, but kids and stuff, they don't like playing outside. They say their knees hurt. I'm like, well, what you mean? I'm like, go outside and work if you want to get better. If you don't, then you might need to pick something else or just have basketball as a hobby, which is also fine. But my advice to your kids and to all the kids in Germany in general, because I know it's hard finding a gym if you don't play for one of the top clubs, is if you're outside, if you're in the gym, just work on things that you're not good at. I could shoot all day and it'd be for nothing, because then I've gotten better in nothing the next summer. So
yeah, that's right, because you got a butter ass Jay. That's right. Yeah. Jump in there, Renee.
There's another thing I just thought about is a lot of great players when they hit off season of course, they take a few weeks off, most of them, not all of them. There were like those people like Kobe Bryant who just straight started working out again. But still, a lot of the amazing players, they just take a month or 2 months off of their basketball practice, and they just work on other things, like if it's some strength and conditioning, or if it's just you said if your knees hurt, just probably figure out a plan with mobility and stretching and all those things to work on your knees, and then go back to basketball. And then there's the second part of the off season, of course, where you prepare in depth with your shot and all the other things. And then it's a great time to just work out other players, to just hit those 1,000 or 2,000 or whatever shots you can do in summer, and just go outside and just do it. And if others don't do it, it's your chance, So, but yeah, it's still great to have a part of the year, especially if you're young, to do something else, to not play basketball 12 months a year, to just take probably a month off and work a little bit on your athletic abilities or whatever. There's so much you can do to improve your overall basketball skill.
That's a good point, because a lot of kids nowadays, they tend to burn out faster than people used to, and they do too much of the same thing the whole time. Then they'll get bored, and then they won't play basketball anymore. And that's not what we want. I feel like in the summertime, season's over, starting, let's say JBB, starting from JBBL going on up. Okay, summertime is a very important time to get better, but you should also, after the season, take a couple weeks off, not completely off, like you said.
Yeah.
Go to the weight room in the summer. If you're a kid, go swimming, do something, stay active. Yeah. Don't be too lazy. Don't just sit around, because then you got to pick everything back up, and it's not a good look. But that's a good point. Resting is also a big part.
Or do another sport. I mean, if you're young, it doesn't hurt you. A lot of great sportsmen in any sport they did multiple sports. I mean, in the US, everyone does it. Like until you hit high school, you do like at least 2 different sports. Some people do 3, and they're perfectly fine with it. It's in the end, it's also about developing your whole body as an athlete. And
it is.
Most athletes, they would not agree firsthand, but if you think about it, most athletes, no matter if they are basketball players, football players, or even swimming or tennis players, fighters, they are more similar. They have the same set of muscles and bones, if you imagine that. And just move around, work out, and develop as a human and as an athlete, and then as a specialist in your sport as well, of course.
Exactly. Yeah. So in high school, I played 3 sports, so I never really had that break either. So I mean,
what did you do?
That's true. I ran track, played football and basketball in all 4 years. College, I wanted to play football and basketball, but my college coach made me choose between the 2. So I picked basketball.
And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, that guy was a great football player. Let's not get it twisted. Frazier was a great football player. He was the Allen Iverson type, where he could have went pro in both sports, ladies and gentlemen.
What did you do? Like wideout? Or you played defense, or what did you do?
I played all kinds of positions. I played quarterback. I was the running back before. I played defensive back, slot back, receiver. I did it all and back then. Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
At one point, I really thought I still think it to this day that I was better at football than basketball, but I know the chances of going to that next step is a lot harder than it is for basketball, because you can go to Europe and play, you can go wherever and play. Football is, for me, it's like NFL or nothing. So that's why
I feel you, bro.
Yeah, there is no plan B.
I mean, there's the GFL out here.
Yeah, sure, but it's not the same thing.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: how's it feel now to have those? Now we're not post-COVID, but we're getting there slowly but surely. Man. Blessed. And how does it feel, man? To walk back in that arena and get that energy from your fans, because I know you're a fan favorite, and I know you guys get a good turnout, bro. How's that feel, big dog?
It's huge. It's crazy, because I kind of got used to not having fans there at one point, so I was like just mute to it. It's like, okay, it's another game. And then when you actually have the fans back, and then when you get tired and the fans, they start cheering you on and stuff, getting tired doesn't exist when fans are there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another example, when I went back to Rostock and they introduced me, I got applauded, because I'm
That's
still
awesome.
I'm still a fan favorite out there. Just not last night when we played Paderborn, they were really loud, and then it was also awesome to quiet the fans when you're an away team. When you hit a big three, and they're like,
Yeah.
like this guy.
He's being humble again, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say what he's trying to tell you. I know him very well. He did this. You guys shut up and watch this three ball. Get this three ball out of your mouth.
No, but having the fans back, it's awesome. I mean, it makes you appreciate it a lot more. Because back now, like a couple of years, like before COVID, it's like, all right, cool. Fans are here. You talk every now and then, but now you like really appreciate like how important fans really are to players.
Yeah, you had those games with no one there, and it is weird, isn't it? You cannot really describe how it is, and it's often it's with everything in life where you truly appreciate what you have if it's gone. And
yeah, for sure.
The season really felt like a preseason. The whole year.
Yeah.
Or I don't practice or whatever.
Yeah, or something like that. You make a basket, you don't hear any cheers, you don't hear any drums, you don't hear anything. You don't hear other like away fans cursing at you, saying you suck type stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing. Nothing. When you shoot free throws, it's dead silent all the time. It's like it was really weird.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, let me ask you this: how does it feel also to, I know that every now and then you got these new guys, the rookies come in, and you've been at this for quite a while, man, and I know you got superb leadership skills. So how does it feel now being the veteran on the team when the young American comes over and thinks he knows everything and doesn't realize that, hey, buddy, you better step your game up because in December we might be replacing you, homeboy. So you need to listen to a guy like Frazier. But how does it feel to be able to lead like that?
One, it feels weird to be for the first time being the oldest guy on the team. It was weird. This is the first year where I'm the oldest. It's kind of strange and kind of scary at the same time. You're like, oh, okay, the oldest, over 30. You slowly starting to see that door, but you don't want it to end yet. But it's good. It's good. It helps me. I think being the captain and really helps me on my leadership skills, and I think it'll also help me outside of basketball as well, because everyone doesn't come from the same background. Everyone's been raised different. Everybody's played in different systems and stuff. So like you said, there are some Americans that come over and they think, okay, I was the leading scorer in college all 4 years. Now I got to do it over here. And I'm like, that's not how European basketball works. You got to tell them it's more team play than one-on-one, because here, the big man can stay in the paint with no 3-second call. So you're just going to see a big dude there.
Right.
And, they try to do things on their own still, trying to get their stats so they can get more money the year after that. I'm like, that's not what coaches look at over here that much anymore. It's more, can you win? Can you score and win and help your teammates get better? And I dip and dab every now and then. I mean, now we have a point guard and a small forward, two guys that play together at college. They're amazing. Nice. David Cohn and Justin Pierce, they're amazing guys. Don't have to lead them too much because David's a leader of his own and Justin's a really smart guy. There's a couple of Americans over the years, where I try to help guide them. If they take the advice, okay. If not, they'll learn quick.
That's it.
We had it last year. Someone didn't want to listen, and we cut ties with them and brought in a better guy. So
right.
And a more level-headed guy, So,
yeah, I mean that's just how it happens, man. And I appreciate you, bro, because at the end of the day, the game has given us so much, and we love the game. So we do our best to give back. But I mean, me, I've been helping guys for many years, and I tell guys, I say, hey, man, listen. If you're even for the Americans that play here in lower leagues, I try to tell them all the time, like, listen, man, if you're averaging 50 in a weak ass league, I've done that before. You've done that. We all know what it's like to just get buckets. But if the team's not winning and the team doesn't move up, then, it doesn't matter. You can average 50. No one cares. I mean, and, I say it all the time, year after year after year, Chris, Renee, I've been saying this. And a lot of guys just don't listen. But it's funny because, the next season always comes. And then those same dudes, they don't have a job playing ball anywhere, or, because the machine's not going to stop. You know what I mean? Pro basketball won't stop for anyone.
No, I mean, even though the Regionalliga has got way better, it's crazy how good Regionalliga is now. There's some Americans there that'll give you 20, 30 a game, and they won't come up because a lot of coaches in Pro B, Pro A are like, that's a huge step. You know, they didn't win much. Okay, he might be good, but can he fit in the team? And most of those guys just end up staying in that league, just keep going team to team and wondering why they can't move up. And I've had guys Americans ask me how can they move up from the Regionalliga and get that respect. I'm like, your best two chances are your agent's got to be good,
right?
Or two, you got to move that team up, and then
exactly
Pro B and Pro A teams like, hey, okay, we have an American that led a team up to Pro B,
right?
And then now we'll look at you. It's kind of unfair because I was at that level. I've been the whole D3 story, and I know I'm better than a Division III basketball player, or I could have played D1 somewhere.
For sure.
My first year when I came back, they're like, Division III. Like, what does that even mean? Like, I'm like, that doesn't mean nothing. And I had to start in Magdeburg back then, just because nobody were like, okay, we don't know who you are, we don't know your school, and I had to work my way up, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing, though. But you took that as a challenge, and that's the reason why you're a successful basketball player, because you didn't look at it like, you looked at it the same way I looked at it, like, okay, cool. You know what? I might be playing in a lower league, but it doesn't matter. Since I'm here, I'm going to show you that I don't belong here. So I'm going to get the numbers. I'm going to move my team up. And even if I don't move my team up, I'm going to approach it like, it's a game 7 of the NBA finals. You know what I mean? I love the game and I'm a competitor. So, I'm going to go hard. That's just what it is.
Yeah. I mean, other ways you could probably move up is from hearsay, you like, instead of just being a bucket and then like, you could be a great teammate, great leader, great captain, communicate here and there. And then maybe that coach tells another coach, and then the fan tells another fan, and get your name out there even more. Coaches look at that too. Not only the numbers, points per game. That's what a lot of, that's sadly to say, that's what Americans look at. It's just points per game.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not only about that. You got to be a great teammate as well to get to that next spot.
Yeah, no doubt. Jump in there, Renee. Jump in there, babe.
Yeah, when I can fully agree with that. Like, we had on our show, we had great players that played Regionalliga and they had a hard time moving up. A lot of them I followed, they tend to go to another country even to play sometimes, because there is, again, like, new story, like somehow I feel like the German basketball, all the leagues, in the last 10 years, they improved overall, and also the reputation that they have in other countries. I feel like 10 years ago, it was definitely not that good. Like, I have Tashim Lyles in my mind, someone who kind of made it that way that we just talked about. In Hamburg, I think, was that correct?
Yeah,
Joe?
Yeah, he played for Reagan.
Yeah, and then he was in Karlsruhe, and where he is now? Yeah. He's
Erfurt.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he was one of those, but they won like all the games in that year, I think, or they probably got one loss only, and they moved up from Regionalliga to Pro B, I think. But this rarely happens. It's like a gladiator thing. Like, you go there and only 1 out of 100 can win. It's it can be hard, but in the end, you have to look at it you cannot expect as a US player to go to Europe and to make millions or whatever. You have to be like NBA level to do that, or even played there a couple of years and then probably move here. There are some teams here, highly professional in Russia or in Greece or in Spain, and they can pay you. It's not compared. Even that is not compared to the NBA. But you can't expect that. And in the end, it's kind of a cultural experience for you. You love the game. You play basketball. You're here. You try to make money to. Survive is probably not a good word for that, but to make a living, to see a different culture, to be here, and ball players we had on the show, they really enjoyed doing that, and it's also about that. You love the game and you want to live your life and you want to put that together, and if you have the chance, it's a great thing, and you can make good money here with basketball, but you can't expect to have millions or something. So sometimes it doesn't even matter if you play in Regionalliga or in Pro B or in Hungary or in Ukraine. It's not that much of a paycheck difference. It's you have a good agent, a good team, a manager who people who don't like lie to you or whatever. They
Right.
these things happen too. I'm sure basketball players get robbed over their money in every
Of
league.
course.
For sure.
I'm sure
For
Joe
yeah.
heard a lot of stories of that because
Oh,
so
man,
many
yeah, most
guys.
definitely.
But those things happen, and you have to be careful of that. I think you have to consider that as well, and not only in second league I get more money than in third, but it doesn't have to be that way. So just love the game and go there, take it as an experience, and try to play the best you can, and it will turn out good for you. Sure.
Exactly.
Hey, Chris, let me ask you this. What advice would you give, like you said, because I know that struggle myself, man. I was a D1 guy, and I made a lot of bad choices, and I ended up going the JUCO route, and then I went D2 before I ever had a chance to go pro. So, it was really a tough road. I mean, what advice would you give to, let's say, a guy who plays D3, let's say even at your former school or an NAIA guy? What advice would you give to that guy who really wants to try to come and play overseas?
First of all, I still believe to this day, if you had social media in your heydays, you'd be playing, you'd be top level over here, for sure.
Yeah, Joe, for sure. Yeah, Joe, I think my dunks would have had me lit.
You are such a polarizing, communicative, like even your voice, everything about it. It's true. I thought about that the same, but it's it was different. It was a lot different.
I appreciate you guys.
Decades ago.
No, I appreciate you guys. But see, nobody can take away from me, man, that Chris Frazier, was my guy, and I sat there as his coach and watched him get 50, bro. I'm still lit, bro.
No, but what the advice I give those guys is, I mean, just to be ready for a grind. Like, it's going to be harder for a D3 NAIA athlete to make that pro route happen. Luckily for me, I have the German passport, so it's a little different. But let's say the Americans, a lot of them, D3 guys, they end up starting in the Regionalliga, which is tough. It's hard to explain because it's such a dog-eat-dog world. But really, the only thing I could really say is it's going to be a grind. Europe, if you're not playing in the top leagues, it's always going to be a grind. It's still a grind for me till this day. I still don't get anything easy, So I mean, you just have to be prepared for it, and don't give up on the first try. It didn't work. You'll probably end up on a team that doesn't have a lot of money. You'll get paid 500, 800 euros with some free food stipends where you can go get food, and that's about it. And the first year is always going to be tough for a D3 lower level guy, even D2 sometimes, not often. It's always going to be tough, but stick it out a year or two. And if you really want it, and if you really want to grind for it, it doesn't always happen. That's just the way it is. But there are good things there that can happen. For example, Courtney Belger played D1.
Right. Yeah.
Started in Regionalliga, and then he came up and killed the Pro A. I think he could be a BBL player, but they just never gave him a chance, and now he's making money somewhere else. But that's an example right there. Pierre Bland's another one. He played
for sure.
He played in the Regionalliga for a couple of years in Bernal, moved them up, and then he did his thing. Right. There's a couple of guys like that. It's not Tyson, like Renee just said, Tyson Lyles is another one.
Right.
Bucket getter, went to Karlsruhe, learned how fast and different the pace is, and from Regionalliga to Pro A. Now he probably have to take one step back to come back the year and be ready for it next year. I'm pretty sure he could play. He just needs that chance.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's just going to be a grind. You just have to be prepared for it because it's not going to be easy. It's like, let's say, how you say real life hits you hard. I'd say, of course, we're getting paid still, but we're not getting paid how, we would think so, or how the first league guys are getting paid. So real life is going to hit you hard, regardless if you're playing basketball or not.
Yeah, that's man.
If it would be easy, everyone would do it.
That's right, bro. Hey, man, you hit the nail on the head with that, Renee. And that's the next thing. Hey, Renee. Hey, Chris, I'm telling you. I tell these guys, the thing is, you have to be realistic also with your skill set. I always say in my pro, I still make jokes about myself to this day. I always say in my day, I was what you call the one trick pony. All I want to do is dunk on somebody and turn around and watch everyone cheer. That's it. It's the one trick pony. But I knew that I was an elite athlete. So that's the thing. I knew what my lane was. You know, I'm not going to, if I get that ball and there's 2 seconds left, I'm looking for a Chris Frazier. I'm trying to pass it to someone who I know is a great shooter. Like, I'm not going to get outside of my lane. And I think that's also a problem. I mean, would you guys agree that there's, you know, a lot of players aren't realistic with their skill set and the level that they can play at? I mean, what do you think about that? Do you agree with that, Chris, or am I just saying
I would agree. I would agree with that because, you know, even like during negotiations, I've heard coaches say, yeah, this guy thinks he wants 8,000 because he thinks he's played at whatever level, and his agent says he's like the next LeBron type player and stuff like that. And then they get here, and he says he's 7 foot, but he's really 6'2", and then all of a sudden he can't touch the net, or he can't shoot a ball with either hand, and then you're like, what happened? So
right.
I think a lot of us, I probably used to be the same. I probably thought, okay, out of high school I can go anywhere and play too, and then I played Regionalliga out of high school and got humbled really fast. That okay, I'm not the best guy. I do need to go to school and develop my game. But for sure, we need to look in the mirror a lot of times and really think and listen to what other people are trying to say.
Right. And that's the whole thing, because I'm sorry, Renee, because a lot of people, you know, I give people the information, you know, and a lot like dudes like act like I'm just the big hater out here. And I'm like, no, I'm not the hater. I'm just giving you this business and I'm giving it to you raw. And I'm telling you, be realistic, because let's keep it 1,000, man. Like even me, you know, I love German basketball because it basically saved my life. And I tell people, I say, hey, listen, if you're really that nice, then, you know, try the NBA or try, you know, first division Russia or Greece or all of these different levels. Go try it, man. And they'll humble you for me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I won't have to, you know what I mean? I won't have to be the hater all the time.
Yeah.
Just sometimes. So what do you have planned for the summer? I know you enjoy also the street ball scene. Are you going to do any street ball this summer, or what are you thinking?
If they open it all back up
this summer, he says.
I hope so. Yeah, let's pray, bro. I'm praying.
This summer in November.
Yeah, I'm trying to think positive, dog. Real talk.
Yeah, it's true. It's not that long.
No, I hope so. I mean, if everything is normal again, which I would not normal like we knew it a year and a half ago, but if I'm pretty sure they'll open stuff back up and then let the tournament start playing on a regular basis. I'll probably be out and about more than I usually was, because, you know, the last couple of years I only played in GRC in Cologne.
Nice.
And that was about it. I think I need to go out there and play and shut up and play in Berlin. I need a couple more tournaments under my belt now.
Nice. So. Easy, baby. Get you over there in that shut up and play. And man. Also, I got to get you in that in the Red Bull. I talked to my man Paul Gooder. We'll get you over there in that Red Bull tournament, man. That was a great tournament too.
Yeah, I need to get in that. I think I actually got invited to it, but our preseason started this year during that time, so I couldn't go.
Okay.
So I'm hoping I can do a lot more tournaments this summer for sure.
Very nice.
All right.
Before you go, you know, let me ask you this: do you think? Do you see downrange you doing the personal trainer thing? Because we need you, Chris, because there's a lot of guys, man, out here that are calling themselves professional basketball trainers. And, man, you know, they're about to kill kids, man. They need to talk to my man, Renee. Renee can give them a lot of tips on how to train kids, because some of these dudes, man, got kids trying to pick up 7,000-ton, 7-ton tires. They're going to break these kids' backs, bro.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I'm slowly trying to get into it now. Like this season, I volunteered to help the club and coach the kids and stuff. And
nice.
I do Schul AGs now too, to help bring little kids the awareness of basketball in the little town that we're in.
Nice.
Because, you know, just to get it a little bit more popular than the hockey thing is here. It's a big hockey town.
Yeah,
and then
sure.
I asked them, do we do any schoolwork? You know, with kids, you know, AGs, do we visit schools? I'm like, no, not really. I was like, we need to start, because those kids have parents, and those parents have money, and then you can maybe find a sponsor.
Exactly.
And because I think it's sad, it's like that everywhere. I think in Germany, a lot of teams don't have homegrown kids.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's pretty sad. we don't have one at all. That's like was born and raised here. We have not one. We have some pretty good kids here. Hopefully they stay and don't move on to say like Tübingen, because they have the whole NBBL, JBBL thing, and we don't yet. But yeah, for sure, I try to help where I can, and then when I'm done, either go the coaching route or behind the scenes route, but still help on the side with personal training, shooting, and just give kids advice and stuff like that, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that, Renee?
No, it's great.
Awesome.
I recognize that too, that with kids, it's hard to get them there, and it got even harder through COVID and all this stuff. So yeah, we have to get through that together, and somehow I think it's good that you do that, that you go to schools, that you have these courses there, and that they have the chance to somehow get to know that, because a lot of people, other kids, they just don't know what options they have sometimes. And at least you have to show them. And then if they don't want it, then, I mean, what would you do? But that's the first step, and you have to do that.
It was actually crazy. Real quick, I thought it was actually crazy when I did the shoot I did for the first time. I thought I'd have like 5-10 kids. Ended up having 36. So
nice.
And that's because you made that really well. Because I know I could imagine some German old teacher doing that. There wouldn't be 36 kids.
Exactly.
So
exactly, bro.
Joe knows all the Hausmeisters in Berlin, and you know how that works here.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. When Frazier pull up, they know it's a shooter.
So next game is Artland. It's Wednesday, so it's gonna be 2 days before we release that. It will already have happened when people hear that. But still, good luck for that game and the game after. I think it's away. Is it? Where do you go then?
We play at home on Wednesday, and
then the weekend game is away in Trier. Yeah, all right. So good luck for those games, and thank you for being here. Yeah.
Oh, not a problem. Thanks.
It was great talking.
Appreciate you, big dog. Keep shooting that thing, bro. And like I said, my claim to fame, ladies and gentlemen, is I coached Frazier and he dropped 50. That's why I'm still lit.
You took the leash off. You let me go, so I had to.
Exactly. Good to see you, bro.
So follow the Panthers. We wish you all the best for the next 2 games this week, and yeah.
All right, appreciate it.